Let's get back now to our Oscar Pistorius coverage as his murder trial begins in Pretoria today. I'm joined by the branding expert, Jonathan Gabay, and still with us is the editor of the South African newspaper, Heather Walker. Good to have you both on the programme. Jonathan, let's just take us back a year ago, or maybe a little bit more, a year ago, to Oscar Pistorius before this night happened on Valentine's night last year. And before that, his life read as a branding dream, didn't it, for someone like you?
Oh, absolutely. He was. It's estimated that he was worth about £2 million. Dollars actually, a year in terms of the brand sponsorship, and he was everybody's darling from a branding point of view. Why? Because he ticked every one of the tick boxes. He was value for money. He had a great home market. He had charisma. He had the age. He had the looks. He was very cooperative with the brands. He was a role model, and most importantly of all, is he had a great backstory. So you were saying earlier in the programme, you were talking about, unfortunately, when his mother died. And also he had a lot of trials.
And also just being born with a severe disability, but not letting that overshadow him in any way.
Absolutely.
And being able to run with the best able-bodied athletes in the world.
Absolutely. And he conquered these trials and tribulations. And from a branding point of view, although it might sound quite harsh, but it's actually magic stuff for a brand.
So, Heather, how do you compare him in the country compared to other heroes that you've got? Where is he, or where does he rank versus other athletes in the world, would you say?
In the world, gosh, I mean, when you look at the endorsements he had, that's only one way of looking at it. He certainly ranked among the top, Usain Bolts and those type of people. In terms of in South Africa, he's obviously probably probably the best known athlete we have. And I mean, not only an athlete, but as a South African, extremely well known.
And now, Jonathan, he's having the legal fight of his life.
Yes.
Even if he is found not guilty, can he ever come back from this? What do you think?
It depends, because, going back to that backstory about obviously his disability and so on and so forth, I think, he could play the sympathy card.
Would he want to, do you think, Heather, come back from this? I mean, will he want to resume a public life if he is cleared?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. On one hand, you could kind of argue that even if he resumes training and he gets some of his sponsors back, he'll never achieve the same degree of excellence that he had. He was in the prime of his career. When you've just come back from a massive trial, perhaps you do just want to stay quiet out of the radar for a while.
Could South Africans forgive him?
South Africans have expressed, through people like Mandela, a great ability to forgive, regardless of what's happened to them. And quite certainly they could forgive him.
Jonathan, just briefly, if you were on his team, how would you be advising him?
I would be advising him to do exactly what he's doing. He's got 31,000 followers on Twitter, on his official thing there. And I would be advising him, if he comes out of this, clean and all the rest of it, I'd be advising him to be quiet and wait.
OK, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your thoughts
Pleasure.
tonight, Jonathan Gabay and Heather Walker. Thank you very much for joining us. And no doubt we'll have you back on the programme over the next few days and weeks, because this trial is going to run and run, isn't it?